world news tonight from Baba Bagede Imo Television. First, the headlines. Tinubu deserves commendation for suspension of Betta Edu. Atiku. OPC ARG urged Tinubu not to neglect calls for restructuring. North wrestling power with Tinubu will spell doom for Nigeria. APC chieftain. Court remands ex-minister Agoloye in Kuje prison. On sports, Super Eagles arrive at Abidjan ahead of AFCON 2023. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has commended President Bola Tinubu on the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu. In a statement by his Special Assistant Public Communication, Frank Shaibu, on Tuesday, Atiku noted that the suspension of the minister was commendable but not enough. Recall that President Bola Tinubu on Monday directed the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, to investigate all financial transactions involving the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Edu came under criticism after a leaked memo on December 20, 2023, revealed that she directed the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madane, to transfer 585 million naira to a private account owned by one Onuyelu Bridget, who the ministry claimed currently served as a project accountant, grants for vulnerable groups. The former vice president noted that it was unfortunate that a program that was designed to lift over 100 million Nigerians out of extreme poverty had allegedly become a cash cow for successive All-Progressive Congress government. Atiku, who called for reform of the ministry, alleged that it was not only Betta Edu that was involved in the transactions. Betta Edu should not be the fall guy. Others who have remotely and wickedly benefited from money that was meant for poor Nigerians ought to be fished out, probed and prosecuted too. It is demonic and tenaciously wicked to steal in the name of the poor. A Yoruba regionalist and vigilante organization, the Odua People's Congress (OPC), tasked President Bola Tinubu to quickly set motion in place towards the restructuring of Nigeria's governing system to return it to a regionalism basis where component states will develop at their pace. The Congress, during a two-day meeting held at Odua House in Ikeja, Lagos, urged Tinubu not to fall into the error of his predecessors, who thought there were alternative strategies to reinvigorate the governance structure of Nigeria other than to restructure it. In a communique signed by Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba Land, Iba Gani Adams, after the meeting, the group restated the need for complete overhauling of Nigeria's structure, insisting that regionalism is the only solution to the structural imbalances of the country. In another remark, Chairman of Afenifere Renewal Group, ARG, Wale Oshun, also appealed to the President on restructuring. He said that is the only thing the administration could give the country that would last and endure. Whatever else that is done now in the form of policy and achievement without restructuring can as well be reversed in the future by another leader. Nigeria must be restructured to true federalism. The OPC also reiterated its readiness to partner with Southwest state government in their desire to improve the security architecture in their respective states, just as it urged the federal government to conduct a national census to ascertain the true population of the country. Former Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism and Chieftain of the All-Progressive Congress in Niger State, Honorable Jonathan Tado Vatsa, has warned that any attempt to alter the political arrangement that produced President Bola Tinubu in 2023 will spell doom for the country in 2027. Vatsa, however, warned that those flying the kite of the need to abolish the present zoning arrangement in the country should have a rethink, as such shifting of goalposts at the middle of the game will tell no good of the unity of the country. The frontline APC chieftain, who was reacting to a recent comment credited to a former spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum, Professor Ango Abdullahi, as saying that the rational presidency being practiced by Nigeria since the nascent democratic setup in 1999 is democratically irresponsible. In an interactive session with newsmen in Mina, the Niger State capital on Wednesday said those agitating for the abolition should wait until after 2027, and maybe when every region must have had a shot at the presidency. The elsewhere Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria, had argued in an interview that if you are practicing democracy of one man, one vote, you don't talk about power going to one area or region or something. Moving on to the next story. A federal high court in Abuja today ordered the remand of the former Minister of Power and Steel, Olu Aguloye, in Kuje Correctional Center. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arraigned Aguloye over allegations of fraud in the Mambila Power Project. Aguloye was brought before the Federal High Court in Abuja today, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges read against him. The judge, however, ordered that the embattled former minister be remanded in the facility pending when bail will be granted. Going to politics, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has expressed his sense of betrayal by his principal, Godwin Obaseki, for not backing his candidature in the upcoming 2024 governorship election. Shaibu claimed that he was persuaded to be the Deputy Governor to Obaseki, said he added value to his principal's government in terms of political structure and its finances. Speaking during an interview, the People's Democratic Party governorship aspirant said he was off that Obaseki was supporting an outsider instead of him. However, he didn't name who the outsider is. Actually, I was persuaded and there was no protest. I actually didn't want to be a deputy governor. I was very comfortable in the House of Representatives. It took almost 1 month to get me to accept to be deputy governor of Edo State. Speaking on his perceived betrayal, he said, I feel betrayed by the governor. I feel very betrayed. When we go to church, there are certain public verses that are becoming to make meaning to me. There is this particular verse that has been going through my mind. The heart of a man is desperately wicked. When I see what the governor is doing, the verse now makes meaning to me, says Obaseki. From Edo State through politics to Lagos. The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the receipt of the petition by Nigerian singer and songwriter Tivsa over alleged bullying and threat to her life by Grammy nominee David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido. The state's police public relations officer, Benjamin Udain, while responding to an inquiry on Tuesday, said investigation had begun into the allegations. Savage, in the petition currently in circulation, accused Davido of uttering disrespectful words in reaction to a post which included herself and the singer's baby mama, Sophia Momodu's Instagram story. The singer explained how she expressed disappointment at Davido's threat and reminded him of how she stood by his family, especially when he lost his son, Ifeanyi. She, however, claimed to have thereafter received calls from mutual connections seeking to know what she did to upset Davido and also questioning her relationship with Sophia. If you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI Television. Next to come. The Nigeria Police Force River State Command has confirmed that its operative arrested one of the kidnappers who received money in the food flags and rescued the kidnapper Otelia, who received money, who was shot twice by his abductors on December 19, 2023, along Artillery in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The River State Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Diso, made this known to journalists at press briefing held at the state's police command headquarters, Moscow Road, Port Harcourt. The CP said that the victim, who is a famous hotelier in Port Harcourt, was shot 3 times before he was abducted. According to the police commissioner, the kidnappers demanded a sum of 26 million naira from the hotelier's family for his release, and the money was paid in full, but the kidnappers refused to release the victim. This is said that the hotelier's family was on the verge of paying another money when they informed the police of the incident on December 30, 2023. It said that the kidnappers at the tail end of December 2023 had taken the victim's car to a panel beater and vehicle spray painter, whom they had contacted to change the color of the car. However, police officers had an encounter with the kidnappers, but they escaped. Diesel said the officers of the command responding to intelligence went to hide out of the kidnappers in Agbomochira Forest in Eleme, local government area of the state, where the victim was rescued and one of the kidnappers injured during an exchange of gunfire with the police. The injured kidnapper was arrested with 1 AK-47, 6 sets of fake army camouflage uniforms, 2 magazines and 2 vehicles, a Lexus RX 350 and a Lexus 33 were recovered. The commissioner said that the kidnappers had a practice of receiving money from the victim delivered in food flags in dollar bills. From that story to foreign. The International Court of Justice will on Thursday begin hearing argument accusing Israel of committing genocidal act in Gaza. In a memo shared on X, the court said the public hearing of oral argument will commence on Thursday with South Africa and continue on Friday with Israel. Both parties will argue for 3 hours each. The government of South Africa on 29 December instituted proceedings at the court against the State of Israel for committing genocidal acts in Gaza. In the 84-page document submitted to the court, South Africa said the act and omissions by Israel are genocidal in character because they are intended to bring about the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinian national, racial, and ethnic group that being part of the Palestinian group in the Gaza Strip. South Africa wants the ICJ, as a matter of extreme urgency, to task Israel to immediately suspend its military operations in Gaza, among its other provisional measures outlined in the documents. Finally, on sports. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have landed in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. The Eagles are expected to play their first game this Saturday, January 13, against Equatorial Guinea, as supporters of the national team hope that they will win the competition for the first time since 2013. The 23-man squad dressed in the nation's color as they flew from Nigeria to Côte d'Ivoire. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News from BGI TV. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu deserves commendation for suspension of Betta Edu. Atiku. OPC ARG or Tinubu not to neglect calls for restructuring. Not wrestling, power with Tinubu will spell doom for Nigeria. APC chieftain speaks. Court remands ex-minister Aguloye in Kuje prison. We brought to you from the sport angle. Super Eagles arrive Abidjan ahead of AFCON 2023, hoping that they give Nigeria a boost with the cup at the end of the tournament, God's willing. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For other placement certificates and services, coverage of events and function, please start the fundum streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Moriri Rabila Lawal. Good evening.